Morning. It's Thursday, and I'm going to bring in George. Sean's not here yet, but he'll be here. Practicing dementia again?
Yeah, I don't forget about dementia. It's like I'm doing fun shui. I'm doing
Feng
tai
shui.
chi. I'm so fun shui up. Let me tell you, all this shit going on. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you sound rough.
Mm. Well, anyway, we were supposed to have a special guest today, but he had to cancel. Had something up, but we can't tell you who it is yet. So we will. So
well,
it's
yeah,
gonna
no,
be.
you can't tease. No teasing.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's true.
yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to open up. I'm going to watch for Sean, but I'm going to open up with the prayer for today. So, but I'll hear him when he comes on. So it says, "For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and the pride of life is not from the Father, but is from the world." And that's John 2:16. So basically, it means a proud man is always looking down on things and people. And of course, as long as you are looking down, you cannot see something that is above you. And it's out of the book I get from Palin. She always has really nice stuff in there. And it has like the meaning behind it and that kind of stuff too. So, and we always look down on the dumbs, I guess, but they deserve it.
Yeah, well, I don't know where to get their mentality from, but it's amazing how.
Hi, Sean.
Hello, how are you?
You just keep on
How are
pushing.
you?
Been having some tech issues here this morning.
Mentality from, but it's amazing how.
Well, what happened?
Hello, how are you? I don't know. It wasn't. The link wasn't working from my computer for some reason. I had to restart my computer, and there was a bunch of windows open, and I think that slowed everything down.
Oh, well, yeah.
User error than.
Good morning, brother. How are you?
How are you, George? How are you, Trace, Trixie? Everybody doing well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing very good. Hey, if anybody wants to know, Trump's
George?
having a rally in Michigan. Yeah, I say it. It's out of the laundry.
Yeah, damn right. And me too. I'm out of the laundry too, George.
There's a rally in Michigan, in the county of, what was that again? Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, I've seen that. What, next week, I think?
Yeah, the 29th. What is it? Where am I?
Oh, George is looking for that. Good morning, everybody.
Macomb County. Macomb County in Michigan.
That's just north of Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll. Hey, something came up interesting on the news. I don't know if you saw it. The wonderful. They showed England, and they showed. I can't believe this thing. The mayor, all the mayors that are in England, and every one of them, of every city, is a Muslim mayor. Every one of them.
Well, all that open borders going on over there.
They had the problem was there's a big story about that. If anybody's interested, I could tell them, but I'll tell you anyway. The thing was that when the European Union was created, and everybody agreed, all those 31 European countries, all right, and the agreement was because of the New World Order was part of that European Union, and what they tried to do was they forced all the contract was that they had to take migrants in. It's very important that they took the migrants in, and the ones that got hit the worst, believe it or not, was England, France, and Italy. They were heavy. The other ones decided to stop them. So that was the issue, and especially Italy. When the Muslim kids started going to school, all the schools there, because I went to school there when I was a little kid. Every class, every school that you went to, every class had the cross over the blackboard, and they wanted the crosses removed because it was upsetting them, the students. So because they had like a liberal taught prime minister there, they decided to take those crosses out. But now with Maloney, the new prime minister, she put them all back on, And if they didn't like it, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So it just goes because, Italy was a Christian base country, not Muslims, but the plan is, and everybody's, we always keep on saying that, even you, Sean, right, to keep the eye on the ball, because everybody's getting passed away about the things that they're doing in El Salvador and all this shit and everything else. And everybody's forgetting about what the Muslims are trying to do in this country. And that's what there was a video out about why they starting all these protests with the anti-Semitic, because of their main mission is to take over the United States, which a lot of people don't know, and they're falling asleep at the wheel. So, I mean, we don't have to worry about it because there's enough. Put it this way: there's more guns than people in this country. There's a lot of militia people, and there's a lot of stuff that won't happen because we have not only have the Muslim population that's here, but also you have the Chinese are very big. If you look at the protests that's happening at the colleges, you'll see a lot of Chinese in the mix. Yeah. And they're on student visas, which is a fact.
Yeah.
That's why
something's getting ready to go down to Colombia again. I saw reported yesterday.
Yep. So that there's all these little explosions that are happening, and we don't want people to fall asleep on these issues. That's why, like Congress, with all these progressive judges that are out there, and Congress can do something about having them removed, but for some reason, I don't understand what the F is going on, that they just ain't doing what they're supposed to do. They're trying to do everything to stop Trump's agenda. That's the plan. That was the plan. They knew Trump was going to win. That's why they picked all these judges. And McConnell helped that along because, the judges had to be approved by the Senate. So
we were wondering why they kept on approving these judges so quick.
Yep. No.
And that was the uniparty all getting together for that, of course.
Now that you're talking about this is pretty relevant to what you're talking about.
Dear Deep State, the Trump you feared in 2020 is nothing compared to the strategic mastermind he's become. For 4 years, you thought you won. What you really did was give him time to study the entire corrupt playbook. Every dirty trick, every hidden lever of power, every bureaucratic scheme. He's mapped it all out. Us patriots wanted someone who could truly drain the swamp. MAGA Nation, smash share to help the channel. He spent 4 years learning exactly how to demolish it. We just confirmed what patriots have been hoping for. Trump isn't playing defense anymore. He's got a battle plan that will shatter the entire corrupt system. The career bureaucrats, the hidden power brokers, the swamp creatures who thought they could wait him out. They have no idea what's coming. This isn't about politics anymore. This is about dismantling the machine that's been stealing your freedoms. Looking at you too, rhinos. When Trump returns, change won't come slowly. It's coming like a tornado. Ready to witness the biggest takedown in American history? Pay attention, because the real fight is about to begin.
Now, about that whole thing, I mean, it's a great video. Whoever put it together, it's on the money. And trust me when I'm telling you that it is on the money. And what happened was the greatest. Now, what Trump said, if he didn't get that many amount of votes that he got in 2020, okay, he would never ran for 2024. But because he saw how many people wanted for him, and he knew about the lie about the 81 million votes my ass that Biden got, because I gave you that chart. Remember about how many counties they had, how many counties, and the amount of people that supposedly he won. If you did all the divisions and the multiplication, and everything else, there weren't enough people for him to get the electoral votes of how many people he won. It showed the comparison between Obama, Trump, and then Biden. So what happened was, it was the greatest thing that the election was stolen, and it was meant to be, because what he did, he planned. The video's right on the money. He planned everything. I'm telling you, I was at Mar-a-Lago. the amount of generals that were coming in. I mean, he has a lot of people behind him. People don't realize what he has behind. He has an army behind him, and people have to understand that. And whatever he's doing, he's a great chess player, and he's a 4-tier chess player, which is a very hard game to do. And he's handling about the tariffs, the education. It's one thing right after another, and it's baffling the Democrats because now they think. I mean, now you got the LGBTQ. We did that photo of, and now they're so interested in MS-13. They don't care about the American people. They'd rather have the murderers. They'd rather save. An illegal alien does not have constitutional rights. Not even a kid that's here on a student visa, and you don't have no due process. It's not right for you. They keep on telling, and what they want to do is like the Muslim kid that caused all those problems with all the college. Khalim, he came here on a visa, and it says on the visa, and Secretary of State has the right to remove, and he's going to be gone. But the judges, what they want to do, these judges, is to delay everything. Even if it's wrong, they want to do it because Trump said it. If Trump said, no, I want the guy to be here, they would have sent him out. And that's how it is with the system. But that video, we'll give you the site where to download it, or we'll put it on the page or something like that. But that video, you should keep on watching it because there's a lot of hints in there. And I always tell everybody that when President Trump speaks, listen to what he says. Every word that he says is very important, especially now they came out with this thing about having children. Okay. And he said, oh, that's a good idea about giving them $5,000. So now right away is everybody. And then they had a clip of the View that moron lawyer that she is. I hate her so much that I forget her name because I don't want to mention it. But she turns around, the increase of the kids that being born are Hispanics. Yeah, because they come here, right? They become the anchor babies that is against the law because the whole rule of the amendment was for the black slaves. Was when the black slaves had children because they weren't American citizens. When they had kids that were born here, they became American citizens. That's what it was for, not for anybody coming here, ready to pop out. You go to the airports, you go to the international building, all these people come here, all the ones that are covered up like this, and they're ready to pop. Chinese, the Japanese, everybody, because of that stuff and they know it. It's cost the American people $159 billion of taking care of these illegals. And that's why they're fighting about, Trump is going to take away Medicaid. It's going to hurt the children. Yeah, it's going to hurt the children of the illegals, not the American citizen. That ain't going to happen. But you go to these protests, that's what they hold these signs up. All these old people up there, they bust them in. It's unbelievable conversations you have with them. So, but I got a good rant for tomorrow. So
I see some people in the chat speaking about Mike Davis. Was saying that justice is coming, right? So I have, if I could share this.
Yeah, go ahead.
You, Trix. Let me see here.
Let me pull it up.
Yep. So here's what everybody's talking about. You ready?
At the Justice Department, I met with the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, the acting number 3, Chad Mizell, and the incoming number 3, Stanley Woodward. And I want to reassure the War Room posse that they are very much on top of what's happening in our country, right? And just because you're not seeing criminal indictments right now does not mean they're not coming. They are very much incoming.
I want you to go back to that team because that's pretty impressive. This is not President Trump's first term Justice Department. Walk through who the players are, starting with Pam.
So Pam Bondi is the Attorney General. She is a rock solid constitutionalist. She's bold. She's fearless. She's not being flashy about what she's doing behind the scenes. But
Okay.
she is very much
Okay.
doing things behind the scenes.
We love Pam.
Yes.
Okay, who else?
She's great. We have
She's great.
Todd Blanche,
Fabulous.
the Deputy Attorney General.
Took the president on as a client when nobody else would touch it.
And
And
got ostracized for it.
ostracized.
Now these law firms are scrambling for Todd's blessing.
Yes,
Now, let's just
yes,
put it that way.
yes.
And, good luck to those law firms, especially law firms like Perkins Coie. Good luck. The Deputy Attorney General. He runs the day-to-day of the department. Chad Mizell is Pam's chief of staff, who's also the acting number 3, the acting associate attorney general.
Is he going to stay? He's doing a great job as chief of staff. Is he going to go to be number 3 and
No,
give
no.
up chief? He'll stay as
he's
chief.
staying as chief of
Yeah.
staff, which is more important
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Chad.
yeah,
It's just more important. Stanley Woodward is going to be the associate attorney general once he gets confirmed.
So he's moving from the White House
He's already there. He's already there.
over at DOJ.
Yeah, he's counselor to the AG right now.
And he was Navarro's lawyer.
Yeah, he was Stanley Woodward's, Walt Nada's.
Yeah.
Was Stanley Woodward was Walt Nada's attorney, the co-defendant on the presidential records case.
Yeah.
President Trump has a rock solid team of very good lawyers who are battle tested, who are loyal to the president and his agenda. They should be.
And the word is from Pam and the team is that, hey, we're not going to screw any of these things up. We don't want to hurry it. Things are happening. Stand by.
Justice is definitely coming. Let me just assure the War Room posse, justice is coming, and there's going to be accountability for this unprecedented Republican-ending lawfare where the Biden Justice Department was politicized
Yes.
and weaponized. There's going to be
Yes.
accountability for a lot of these crimes. It
Yes.
takes time to build these crimes. Kash Patel is there. He's doing a hell of a good job. So is Dan Bongino, his deputy.
Okay.
Justice is coming. So
Okay.
just because we don't see it publicly does not mean it's not happening. I know it's happening.
Very good. Hey,
So
Sean,
I
send me that link. Send me that link.
I will. Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously, a lot of people are losing, I guess, patience or whatever, right?
Yeah,
we
right.
want to see instant things happening, and I think there's got to be some things getting right. But I think the biggest blunder that we had was, if you remember, not too far in the administration when they had all the influencers out front of the White House holding the binders, right, with the Epstein binders. That was an epic fail. And I think because of that and the lack of anything happening, I think that's why people are getting very aggravated and they want to see something going on. But, I do think there's some stuff getting done behind the scenes. I think we're going to probably start seeing something.
Well, this is what I've been saying all the time, that we have to be patient about what's going on, because it's a lot of it's going to cause all these people are going to get charged. So now there's two types of charges. You're talking about either treason or the RICO Act, because it'll follow the money. So now the better charge with them would be the RICO Act, because that'll stick faster than the Treason Act, because treason has to be proven so much. Me, I filled out the application to be on the firing squad for the people that are treasonous, because I wouldn't. I got if I run out of bullets, I got bows and arrows. So and my swords.
And
We
that
always
knife
say that.
that's stuck on the side of the bike, you could pull that out and throw it. If somebody threw it.
Yeah.
We always say in chat, the pay-per-view walks and everything, the perp walks, how much money they could raise for veterans if they charged for the perp walks, because I'd pay to watch that. I'd love to see a few of them do that.
Absolutely.
I want to see Schiff go first, though. That's who I want to see go first.
Yeah, somebody said that about Trump should have a weekly podcast. He can't. He says a lot of stuff on True Social, but you have to they asked him a question like, say, well, is Vance going to be the president when you get out of office? And his answer is, we don't know yet. Okay, because if he picked him, if he said, yeah, Vance is going to be it, the news media will just constantly attack him. Just look at
I like when he talks about the third term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes the media go a little crazy, right? That gets them.
That's what I think.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, they're known as demoron-crats. I mean, they're not Democrats. we call them communists, socialists, and that's what they are. They hate this country with a passion. I mean, look at the people. They hold up signs about Social Security, Medicare, and the only Medicare that gets affected is the cutbacks that are going to these illegals. And the money, it's a lot of money. You're talking about billions of dollars. And the only thing I'm upset about that they came out that Musk is going to, first the word came out that he was going to leave, but no, he's not going to leave completely. He's going to be still working for Trump, that if Trump needs him and stuff. But we don't want the Democrats to show that they won their purpose about burning Teslas. And look what happened to the guy that got charged with all those deep charges and everything else. And then the Attorney General of Massachusetts said, "Oh no, it's a a misdemeanor, not a felony."
Yeah.
So I mean, this is the fights that they don't believe in the thing about the rights of the Constitution and what they take an oath on. All these people that have an office. I mean, some of the Democrats, when they swore in, this is a good one. The little pamphlet books that I send out to people that, and when you win the contest, I'll send the stuff out. And it says here, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will be truth and faith and alliance to the same, that I am take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Now, every American should repeat this. I think everybody should take an oath. This is exactly what the veterans take an oath on. And that when a veteran takes an oath on this, they carry it with them. I didn't serve, but I took the oath upon myself because this is what I believe, or else I wouldn't be doing what I've been doing. And that's how every American should feel. They should feel this way. If you love this country, you have to defend it.
You're a patriot.
Yeah, it says it. Yeah, everything is it. Believe it or not, all the stuff that was written by the founding fathers and everything else, they had, all the words were taken out of the Bible. I mean, that's what this, it's a judicial.
While you're talking about that, I wanted to bring this up. How we always talk about the armor of God.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is, it's like the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, all of it. And there's a scripture underneath every single one of them. So what you just said about it all taken out of the Bible is, 100% correct.
Now, when President Trump got shot, the time was 6/11/33. Okay, look at the first line. What says here on 6/11, Ephesians 6:11. Finally, be strong to the Lord and His mighty power. Put the full armor of God so that you can make your stand against the devil's scheme. That's exactly what the assassination was about.
That wasn't a coincidence that time.
Right. And the 33 stood for angels. If you remember, the flag was all wrapped up like an angel. Looking.
Yeah,
over.
how about that? Remember that picture with the flag from the wind?
So, I mean, Trump, and I believe this, and I think a lot of people believe that Trump was ordained to do this fight. His soul wasn't pure when he started, but he always brings up about God and everything else. Nobody's perfect, but he loves this country, okay? And he's a soldier of God. And that's why all these things that are happening to him and how he praises God all the time. And a lot of pastors go to the White House and pray over him. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that people don't see that I have seen, and how much he believes in family. He worries about kids. The education is very important. I mean, he's got grandkids. He's a family. He's actually a family man. I mean, he worries about his grandkids. He worries about everything else. And that's why he's fighting for this. He's not only fighting for us, he's fighting for his own children, his own grandkids and stuff. And the signs are all there. I mean, God had a great sense of humor in 2020 about the election. I mean, they stole the election. We know they did, but they don't want to bring it up. And even if they find all the cheating and everything else, it's not going to change anything. But it has to wake up the people. The people that, even the Democrats. I mean, look how much he got back from the blacks and the Hispanics. How much he won the heart because they understand, and they're pushing the narrative as the fake news does all the time about the market. Now,
well, but hang on, because you're going to something else. You're talking about the election first.
Yeah.
People know it's not going to change, but I think people want to see people held accountable. And
Yes,
I think that's what we all want to see.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we know it's not going to change. And I always say this was a gift that it got stolen, because I think 47 is much better than 45.
Oh yeah.
And the administration around him is much better than 45.
Well, he picked everything was planned those 4 years, so he picked.
Yep.
I like the younger people that he's picking too.
Oh,
Like
he's got all
the young people.
His whole staff are all young.
Yeah.
Like if you noticed, all the ones that speak, even the one for Tom Homan, Department of Health. See that girl? She's very young. Look at this press secretary. Everybody's young because you need that.
She's a rock star.
Sharpness. Yeah.
She's a rock star. I'll tell you, who would be a good press secretary too is Natalie Winters. Did you see the comment she had with the CNN reporter?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
she's smart.
Very smart. But she'd be a good one too if Carolyn Levitt wanted to move on. Because I'm sure, to do 4 years of that job is a little grinding. So I don't think anybody's done 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a lot. Well, the 2 years. What you have to worry about is the midterm elections, and we got to keep Congress. And it looks like they'll lose the Congress. They're not going to be able to cheat like they did before, and not even the Senate. So it's just the important thing is the Republicans, the MAGA, everybody's got to go out there and vote, and not put an anchor on their ass and say, "Oh, we got this," because that's what everybody's attitude is, that Trump won and it's over. This is a fight. This ain't stopping. This is really bad. You have no idea. I see what's out in the streets. Trust me.
People have to be as vigilant in the next election as they were in the last, and they need to be that in the next election as well. And we have to get everybody out there, because you got to swarm the polls. That's what you really have to do. And like Trump did, too big to rig. That's the only way you're going to win.
Yeah, exactly. You know what liberals are afraid of? I'll show you.
Yeah.
The Constitution, common sense, the American flag, Trump, free speech, patriotism, gun rights, capitalism, hard work, and prayer. Isn't that? That's all of it.
That's a great list, but I think they all should be number one.
Yeah.
I think there should be a tie for number one on all of them.
Look at this. Look at this thing about Kamalo Anthony that stabbed the white kid that killed him.
Yes.
The amount of money that was raised, over $500,000. So look how they got a racist piece of shit advisor, top of the line scumbag. I'm sorry I had to use that word, but what they did is they did the GoFundMe page. Okay, they raised the money, and it's still going. But what they're doing is borrowing the money off of people because of the amount of money that's in there. They don't want to show they're using that money because then it looks bad. They bought a house, they bought a car, they bought an SUV.
The spokesperson for him, he's a lovely citizen, isn't he? I mean, he's got all kind of charges against him for stuff.
Yeah, he's got I got the list. I should.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was what domestic assault, misdemeanor,
boy, that's for sure.
But you know what it is? But did you see white people go out there and burn down buildings? Did you see the riots for the white people? No.
But they're making they're making that murderer into a victim now. Which is pathetic. And that's the victim mentality. That's
they're all crazy.
Because they have nothing else. That's the problem.
They hit the bottom of the barrel. That's it. That is. They don't have any ideas. They don't have any policies except for the ones that benefit illegals and themselves, because they all do the insider trading and everything too. That's why nothing happens with that all the time. I mean, they're just as bad.
They got Crockett, that moron with the eyelashes that are like 17 feet long. And then she
I don't know how
turns
she could
around.
look out those eyelashes.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Remember when you went to the car wash? They had that big thing.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you go through?
Yeah, just like the car wash.
And they're giving her a
wash
platform. They're giving her a platform. They're giving AOC a platform. AOC is going to take over Schumer's job. Mark my words. If in New York,
She may.
oh yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's going to happen because they
She
don't
may.
want. They want to get rid of Schumer because Schumer's not tough enough. They're going to get rid of. I thought Hakeem was going to be tougher, but he's a mouse. I can't believe that.
That's the one that thought Guam was going to tip over.
But no, that's not. No.
I mean, the IQ level up there isn't too good.
Oh, that guy there, yeah. Well, they worried
Yeah,
about.
remember he thought add more people and Guam would tip over. It's like, what an idiot.
Yeah. It was going to tip over. I had
a good video to share on this Texas person, but the girl drops the F-bomb in it, so I don't know if that would be
cool. You can say F-bomb. Kids say, what do you mean, kids?
Well, she don't say
yeah,
F-bomb.
we've been doing it for weeks now. No, don't matter.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you want me to share the
I got
video?
it. When I go Facebook Live, I get challenged by the pastor telling me, George, you got to stop the cursing. I said, oh, sorry. It's my other language.
That's right. Red just gave you absolution, Sean.
Thank you, Red.
All right, here we go. Cue it up.
Do you guys remember when Carmelo Anthony's crybaby ass mama went in front of the cameras and said, "And let me be clear, that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false"? Well, now on the fundraiser, it says that is what they use the money for. So she went ahead and lied in front of the cameras and then unapologetically admitted to it, just like her son unapologetically admitted to killing Austin as soon as he did it. And then their spokesperson is a child abuser, a woman abuser, and then wanted to blame some of this on the fact that it was raining that day. Now, for me, I don't fucking care what the color of your skin is. If you're a good person, you're a good person. If you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. It could really all just be that simple. I'm not sitting here holding anybody or any race accountable for what my ancestors went through. But what I will say is anybody who's defending this kid and this family does not have my respect. It doesn't matter if you look like me or not. The message that's being sent to the younger generation is that if you poke somebody for little to no reason, and yes, it was little to no reason, argue with your mother, not me, then not only will you possibly get away with it, but you'll be paid for it. Your family will be paid for it. There'll be something good that'll come from it, depending on the color of your skin and depending on the crime that you commit. Yep, and that is some disturbing shit.
That's right, because exactly what she said.
Right.
That if a kid goes out, now say a black kid go out and stab somebody, the white kid, if they piss them off, that's it, shoot them and everything else. And they'll get away with it, especially in the liberal states and the
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you see, even these kids are high school age, right? I mean, they love the fight, and they got the phones out right away, and they're videoing it, and they're screaming, "Kick his ass, kick her ass," whatever, and they're going crazy. And that's a it's a feeding frenzy.
That comes from home because they're not taught morals or anything anymore. The kids don't go to church. They're not taught morals. Half the, 3/4 black fathers aren't in the house. So they don't even have men to look up to.
For them is Father's Day.
Well, yeah, I heard some of them buy boxes of Father's Day cards. They don't even have, not just one. But they get the whole box.
Look at the hatred.
It's a shame. It's a shame that because you need a father figure in a home without a doubt.
I was, I was divorced, and I always went with my kids. I made sure I spent the days with them. I paid my child support the way it's supposed to.
I mean, let's face it. There's more people probably divorced today, so there's probably more homes out there in general across the. Doesn't matter what the race is, right? A lot of marriages fail. I mean, but if the parents aren't involved, my daughter's been dating a young guy who's a really nice young man. Parents are divorced. I got to tell you something. They're the closest divorced family I've probably ever seen. The father's always involved with the mother. They doing things all the time. It's almost like they're still married. It's good to see that kind of stuff.
You have to do that kind of stuff with the kids. Otherwise, the boys will just go wild. And then the girls will do the same thing, but in a different way. You know, they have,
Make
but
sure you're involved with the school. Like one time my son wasn't doing good in school. I went to drove 2 hours to where he was at school. I told the principal, call my son down here, but don't tell him I was here. Do not tell him I'm down here. So I called my son down, and my son, you can see that he was going to shit his pants. So let me there. But I told him these words: "You do not want to see me here again." And that was it. He straightened all out for that one thing. Because I gave it. His mother didn't, but I gave a shit, because I went there, and that's the most important thing. And that's what the biggest thing about the Democratic Party was: try to destroy the nuclear family.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did. They did everything possible. That's why they did about the education and everything else.
And women to work too. That was the main reason to get women out to work.
They had factories in Brooklyn, in Queens, that I saw, that I did work for. And what happened is they had minority workers. They had black people working in there making the outlets for Levittown. And I remember because I did work in there. I did electrical and communication work in there. And they had all these factories, the manufacturers here. Clinton is the one that sent all that shit out to China. Mm-hmm. Clinton is the one that agreed to destroy the manufacturing here. Oh, well, we're bringing it to China. We'll create more jobs. How the hell does that make sense?
Plus, China was buying up manufacturing equipment and placing it in Mexico too.
Yeah, right.
So that they didn't have as far to ship, but it was actually China owned.
That's why you try to tell people, listen, all these things that are happening, all these protests and everything else, they want the United States to collapse. And the reason why you got China in Mexico, China's in Cuba, China is in Canada, and China's
all over.
Yeah, but off of California with their ships, okay? And then you have 360,000 students here from China that are on visas. I think all these visas should be revoked, and all of them should be sent back. We don't give a shit how much money you send to the colleges. China's big, sending billions and billions of dollars to these colleges. Look at Harvard. Harvard's fighting. Harvard's fighting for anti-Semitism. What gets me, and
all
even
Yale, money.
Yeah, and what gets me, Yale also. If you're Jewish, take your kids out of there and go send them to another college. Go send. And the problem is, the reason why the families send them to Columbia, Yale, and all these Ivy League colleges is because all these lawyer firms, and there's on shows that they show you, all these lawyers firms, what do you call it, the market and everything else, hire you by what your qualifications of what college you come from.
Yep.
Or else they will not hire you. And then they get a list. They get a list of all their top students, and they're sent to. And that's what the message is. And if people don't realize about the market's trying to give Trump a message, and Trump is telling them to go F yourself, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Because the market is the one that wants to tell Trump, oh, you're not doing the right thing, and you should cave in. And no, and he ain't going to do it. Because he wants to bring the manufacturing back here. He has to bring all the stuff back here. Even our medication. 80%,
that's a big one.
That's 80% of medication comes from China. Respiratory mask, every shit that you get is from China. And then the greatest plan that they did is with India, right? Vance went there to India. It stuck right up China's ass. Because we'll get a lot from them.
Yeah, India's got safe meds and stuff too, but like China, I think when they tested all the batches coming over, every one of them was contaminated with something foreign, not necessarily drugs, but something, bacteria, viruses, all kinds of stuff, metal shavings, all kinds of stuff they've been finding in it. So you wonder that too. And then on top of that, you get your chemo medicine from there, they're diluting that. So you're not even getting a full dose of that. So they're killing you either way you go.
We'll test those little capsules that come in a bottle.
We need to go off the China dependency. You think back when COVID started, and masks we didn't have, right? Which the masks were worthless anyway, but still, the medication, all that.
The respiratory machines. Remember the machines?
Yeah, you can't rely on another country that's not. We're not allies of China, and I don't think we ever will be.
Well, it's because of the money, everything. The weakest part of a person in America is the money, right? Because they'll come out with millions of dollars, China, and don't give a shit about anything else, as long as they get it point across.
Yeah.
That's their plan to take over.
Well, I gotta show you something.
The Liberal, society's loudest, most entitled ideological nightmare. A being so loud, so flamboyant, and so deeply self-absorbed, it makes cable news divas seem modest.
Besides marching and protesting, what else do you suggest?
Well, it doesn't happen overnight. That's the activist. She probably will get a Nobel Prize. But
Actually, never mind. They ascend the cliffs, purple-haired, camera-ready, and emotionally unstable. There, they unleash their war cry into the canyon below. Not in protest, but in mourning the loss of political control, or whatever triggered the meltdown that morning. They scream to call you fascist. They scream when they're sad. They scream to call you racist. They scream when they're mad. Loud, arrogant, and condescending by default. That's the Liberal. Vibrantly colored, eternally outraged, and proudly convinced that if they yell loud enough, they might just save the world, or at least be the main character in it.
I wish I would have fell off that fucking cliff.
Yeah, but that's what we're dealing with. That's you see those crazy people at the protests and everything, and that's it. They're just all crazy.
I think the best one. I would love to interview her. The one that is in the green, that's screaming. Remember the one saw her that was during the first inauguration, Trump's, and she was screaming when they announced him as president.
They were looking for her.
I would love just to have a conversation with her. I would just, or and maybe, or I shouldn't assume her pronouns and maybe him, but I would just love to have a conversation with that person, just to ask a few questions. That's all. Just to, I think it would be fun.
When God said brains, they thought he said trains, and they missed theirs. That's what the problem is.
Missed them. They didn't get to the train station.
Yeah. The other one. The best one is here's my ass, my head's coming. That's the best one.
Yeah.
So,
I've heard that one before.
It's just I can't, and I know a lot of people feel the same way. I can't believe how they believe this shit. That's what bothers me. How they believe all this stuff. And you notice that they don't, the Democrats are not, well, these Democrats, whatever you want to call them. They don't, what do you call, concentrate on one thing. It's everything. You understand? We concentrate on our freedom and our rights and stuff like that, but they concentrate on LGBTQ, what do you call, with the anti-Semitism about Palestinian,
the right to kill a baby.
Yeah, kill a baby. And it doesn't bother them, but it just does not bother them because of the mentality. And the thing that about the education, especially these colleges, they're just teaching, and they get paid a lot of money. And they don't care, like, what do you call, doesn't care that it's going to lose billions of dollars from America, from the president. And they don't care. They think they have enough and everything else, but the way they got to stop all these students coming from other countries, because their countries are sending millions and billions of dollars here to these colleges. So they think, it's just what they call
there is a fine line there. I mean, because we do get people in. I've heard Trump say this. You do get people in that maybe a little smarter, that are whatever. But overall, when you have indoctrination going on at these colleges, that's the biggest thing, is the indoctrination that's going on at these colleges. We've knew it for a long time, right? I mean, they're indoctrinating kids in high school now and middle school even. But that's the big issue, is the indoctrination.
Mm-hmm.
I
think they should tax the endowments. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's what.
All that money they have, start taxing it.
Did you hear how much money they got in endowments?
Yeah,
billions.
Yeah. That's why I said if they start taxing it, they can wipe out a lot of our debt.
They don't get any free education out, especially people are low income minorities that want to go into these colleges. They don't throw them a bone like to give them free college and stuff.
No, I think people that paid off their student loans should send an invoice to the Department of Education. That, invoice for what you paid for college, just not that you're going to get any money, but just in protest, I think it's bull that they got their college paid off.
Well, that's obviously going to get pulled back. It sounds like, right? They're going to they get to be on a payment program where they're going to be getting garnished, as they say, right?
Yeah,
that's being talked about. It's funny, these college loans, though. They talk about all these college loans. The whole system is so screwed up. I'm not for free college. I'm not for free loans or anything. But the college loans, number one, they should probably be a very low interest loan because people can't shake them anyway. But the other thing is, and I've been in the car business my life for a long time. When you go take out a loan on an automobile, right? The car has to be worth so much money. Just like if you want to go take a loan out on a Harley Davidson, George, or you want to take a mortgage out on a house.
My mortgage is a Harley Davidson.
They don't exceed what the value of the or the collateral is, right? So, but college loans today, they definitely exceed what the collateral is. I mean, I heard a lady on Philadelphia radio this morning talking about her daughter has a $200,000 in college debt. They just keep on sending you whatever you go on the thing. It doesn't matter what the degree is or whatever. They just send you the money, and then before you know it, these kids have $75,000-$80,000 and they're 9%, 10% interest rates or whatever on these college loans, and they're shitting their pants. They don't know what to do. Then they get a job that doesn't pay what they thought.
They can't claim bankruptcy because Obama took care of that.
Yeah.
So, and it's all shit degrees too. Like gender studies or something where you don't actually learn a skill, you're learning an ideology. How are you going to make a living with an ideology instead of a skill? I don't get it.
Great question.
That's what it is. And so, maybe you can get a job in politics, but how long is the liberal crap going on?
Sin Clowner just put in there. Wow. Sin Clowner just put a in the chat. Her son's interest rate on his college loan is 28%. That's a crime. That's a crime. That shouldn't be. That shouldn't be.
But
how are they going to pay that back?
I want to explain to you about the college loans. All right. Now, when I went to college, the credits were like cheap. So you pay per credit. So now what happens is the greatest thing, what they did was, this was all a plan. And I hate to take over the whole conversation. What happened is, in high schools, they used to have vocational and credits to go to college. Okay.
Yeah. Votech. Yep.
But what happened is there wasn't enough kids going to college. So what they did is they took the vocation out of the high schools because there weren't enough black kids. Not that they were making good money going on the trade. No, but they didn't go to college. So it wasn't fair to them. So let's take away, because of the control of the, United Federation of Teachers, to take away the vocation. So now the college came in. So now you got the market and the colleges making deals about taking loans out. So as more as the government permitted to give you the loan for your college loan, the more the increase of the college went up. So it was a deal between the colleges and the banks. And then what happened is the interest rate was locked in for the kids in the beginning, but still it was putting them in a hole, which they didn't care. The thing was, they cared to keep them in a hole, to have control over the kids and everything else. You don't think when the Chinese students come here to learn, you think they're learning DEI? You think they're learning gender? You think they're learning liberal arts? No, they're learning all technology. And that's why you got half of these kids that come out of college, they're morons. Because you know why they're morons? Because they're at these protests. They're at these protests doing all this shit. If they had any mentality or any common sense, they wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Because they're trained. If you have, they don't even look at the questions. Like sometimes Jesse Waters has that kid go around. Who was the first president?
Johnny.
It's called, Johnny. Right? They ask him about who was the first president. They don't know.
They don't know. No, it's
know.
Actually, at first I thought it was funny when I saw it a couple times, but then when you start seeing that, it's actually cringeworthy, because these are the people. Think about it. Those people, their vote counts the same as your vote. Right? How scary is that? I mean, technically no, because they're in a different state than you, but technically yes, their vote counts the same as yours.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is that's listen, the way you control the government, right? We are not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. A democracy is when the government tells the people what to do. And the way the Democrats and everything else try to do the government to control was to make you drugs, poor, and everything else. So you couldn't get a job and everything else. So now they have control over the people. So what they did is now the Democrats were always in charge of the slavery in the South. But they turned it around. The Republicans were the ones.
They killed Lincoln.
But they proved about the free slaves and the right for them to vote and everything else. Not the Democrats. But the Democrats, they convinced them. And there was an old timer one time in the barbershop when they left. And they turned around and in the barbershop, and the old timer, because he has the old timer mentality, said, no, we have to vote for our race, our people, which is the wrong thing. Do you believe that they'll take care of you? What have they done for all these years?
Nothing.
Trump built black colleges. There's a thing you have to find out about what Trump has done. But once he turned from a Democrat to supposedly a Republican, which he's a MAGA, and that's it. The MAGA king. That's what he is.
Speaking of colleges, Trump put out a truth. Harvard, just about 9:33, so it just came out. Harvard is an anti-Semitic far-left institution, as are numerous others, with students being accepted from all over the world that want to rip our country apart. The place is a liberal mess, allowing a certain group of crazed lunatics to enter and exit the classroom and spew fake anger and hate. It is truly horrific. Now, since our filings began, they act like they are all American apple pie. Harvard is a threat to democracy, with a lawyer who represents me, who should therefore be forced to resign immediately or be fired. He's not that good anyway, and I hope that my very big, beautiful company, now run by my sons, gets rid of him ASAP. So I'm not sure who the lawyer is they're talking about, but
but what
hot off the press.
Yeah, well, he's 100% right. He's 100% right. But the problem is, it's the parents that are sending these kids to the college that should say no more and get them out. If you're against anti-Semitism and all that stuff, your kids should, especially if you're Jewish, don't give a shit about what the qualification of the thing. They'll look at other colleges. If they don't have enough people, just because they graduate that college, that type of college, doesn't mean they got a guaranteed job. It's what your background is or what you're recommended by. Usually that's what happens. I mean, you watch the lawyer show, they show you that they get a list from all the colleges of how smart everybody is. It's not 100, it's not 200, it's like 10 people. So you spent millions and billions of dollars on your education, and plus you got to pay back, So my 401k was all depleted because I sent my kids to college.
Okay, I'm going to squeeze in trivia here before the hour. Okay, so I got one question, but if nobody...
it's not like last week. I still get my head around last week's trivia. Whew.
Okay, well, I'm going to read this one. This one. What caused the nullification crisis during Andrew Jackson's presidency?
Oh.
So I'll read it again. What caused the nullification crisis during Andrew Jackson's presidency?
I was looking for Mark's answer in chat, but I think he's traveling today, isn't he?
Yeah. If nobody gives any guesses, then I got a second question that's a little bit easier.
Yeah, you're getting tough on these. Either George is getting stingy on the rewards there,
right.
or you're just getting tough. I can't figure it out yet. I gotta figure it out and let the chat know what's going on here.
Funds are low. We got the funds are low.
Funds are low. Okay, Florida for Trump says Civil War.
Oh, let me see. Emma Heath said no clue.
If it's okay. Everybody's saying no idea, so maybe I should go with the second one.
Joey 1 says gold. So if gold's the answer, then Joey 1's the winner.
No.
We only got
Jackson,
two.
Man K. Jackson closed the
Mark,
first
yeah,
central bank.
yeah, that's pretty good.
Insider tariffs on foreign goods.
Okay, wait a second. Central Bank.
Aunt Jana didn't hear. Rumble went out, so Aunt Jana didn't hear your question.
Nut says tariffs. I'll read the question again on foreign goods.
Energy wants to know if George has given patches for prizes yet.
Okay, the question is, what caused the nullification crisis during Andrew Jackson's presidency? Okay, so who's got war?
John, I hope you heard it.
Super's got War of 1812.
It wasn't.
RR has states' rights.
I box some pencils. I got to hold up an apple for Tom Homan.
Okay, should we close it out?
Yeah, did anybody come out with an answer?
I don't know. Is there
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 answers.
Is the right answer in one of those 6?
No.
I didn't get another
I'm
question.
gonna go with the second
I think we
question.
gotta change
The one that was the
I think we gotta
closest was
change the
about the
question
central
then.
bank.
What's today?
I'm gonna go with the second question, you guys. It's easier. What president had the greatest sense of humor?
Got to be Donald Trump.
Okay, what president has the greatest sense of humor?
Go on, everybody in the chat. Let's go.
Florida percent. Trump says Nixon. Damn.
Oh, we got a winner there. There's a winner in there.
Let me see.
All right, so we got.
You got a winner.
Burns,
The first one.
Trump, Super Trooper Trump, Mona Me Reagan, USN Air Lincoln,
USN
Energy Trump, Bond Trump, Jilly Trump.
Well,
ML Heath, it sure wasn't LBJ. Ain't that the truth?
So we got a lot of Trumps here, huh?
Marty Bull, Eisenhower. I guess this is really a opinion.
This
answer,
was
isn't it?
a survey, so.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. So and we got a lot. How many? Everybody's got Trump.
Is Trump? Yeah.
Well,
Sin Clowner, Reagan before Trump. Yeah. How about that? A couple of his jokes he had some good jokes. Remember that when the balloon popped and he said, "Missed me."
Yeah. Okay, closing it out.
All right, close it out.
Closing it out. We're done.
Said,
I'm going to give you the answer to the first question before everybody goes, though, because nobody got it. It was what caused the nullification crisis during Andrew Jackson's presidency, and it was Southern opposition to the tariff of 1828, which was called the Tariff of Abominations, and it led South Carolina to declare it null and void, challenging federal authority.
Somebody did mention tariff.
Not got close.
No.
Yeah, it was kind of general.
Tariffs on foreign goods.
Yeah, Jackson was a Confederate. I mean, he was an American general. He was one of the greatest generals, but he also defended the South.
Yeah, well, I won't make it that hard next time.
Before
we have a winner for the other one. So.
Yeah, proud one last time.
Before we go,
yes,
I wanted to mention Monday they had the Easter egg roll at the White House, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, last year wasn't there like trans people there showing breasts and everything else, and, right? And all kind of crazy.
And a white rabbit.
Yeah, right. And then the rabbit saved Biden and all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to share. I want to share this video real quick, if I could, of this year. It's only a minute, so it won't be long. Let me cue it up there, Trix. Just tell me when you're ready.
Got it.
All right. Watch this. Only a minute. What an elegant first lady.
When the bunny took Joe Biden out, not going to take. He's not taking Trump out.
That was cute. It sure looked a lot better than the last time, didn't
What
it?
a difference, right? What a difference between the 2 years.
Yeah, it had a brown rabbit, and the other one was a white rabbit, and the white rabbit was the one with the song. It was the White Rabbit, if you remember that song.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Jefferson Airplane.
But my point is, do the American people, would they want to go back to what we saw last year on the Easter egg roll versus this year?
No, this year was good.
I don't see that. So I think we got to keep on working with these elections every year and keep the intensity.
Don't forget, Sean's running for office too, and don't forget to hit the like button, please. You gotta get
hit that like button. Mark wasn't in here today.
Yeah, when Sean runs for office, we'll put his campaign banner on the bottom so you guys can donate and support Trump.
Oh, I appreciate anything.
Yeah,
even $2 helps.
And then go ahead.
No, that's they tell you you got to raise money. That's a
Everything.
funny
That's
thing.
what
I
wins
hate asking
elections
people
is
for money.
Yeah. That's what you have to do. The one that gets the most money is the one you don't elect.
Yeah,
that's the hint.
Yeah.
That's another story for Friday.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow we got Frisky Friday, and we'll have Losing Your Shit, and Frank will be here.
And Mark's going to be
walking what do you call
in the room, right?
He's supposed to be sending clips tonight, so I can put them together and put up one, and then like a preview, and then him walk in the room.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
So that sounds like so tomorrow will be fun.
Yeah, I'm all ready for my rant.
You ready for your rant? Yeah, that's right.
You got a rant for tomorrow?
Oh yeah, big time.
You got one, Sean? You got a rant?
I'm just George couldn't get some good rants. George could get some good rants. I think if George has a rant, I think I'll just stay out of it and listen to it and then comment on it afterwards.
Yeah. Well, it'll be fun tomorrow because I like my favorite's Losing Your Shit. I love that.
Yeah.
When they go
I'll
nuts.
tell you what, there's a lot of people that lost their shit.
You know?
I keep on going back to the girl with the green with the hat going, no.
Yeah, I know that one pops. That's one of the best ones to make a meme out of because that one will be forever.
One thing was funny when we went to a protest at Tesla. The woman comes over to me and says, we all had the vest on, the biker vest and everything. So she came over, she says, I don't want any problems. We should do a nice protest, and everything else. And I believe in the First Amendment. And I said, yes, I also believe in the First Amendment, and it'll be peaceful, but I also believe in the Second Amendment to make it understand we're all packing. Point of information. Second Amendment is to protect the First Amendment. So,
yep.
Well, God bless everybody. Thanks for joining the show. Please hit the like button. Very important. So we can move up on the leaderboard.
Yeah,
I think we'll do a good show.
So we keep on getting somebody hitting that dislike button. I don't know. That's
I know that is.
Maybe it's the girl with the green jacket going. No, maybe she's
probably Elcox from 6 o'clock coming on and doing it in the morning.
Oh,
you know who we're talking about.
Yeah,
that's George's friend. That's George's friend.
Yeah. I can't believe how you people love Trump. I don't understand.
We should bring Elcox on as a guest one morning. That would be kind of fun.
He wouldn't have the balls to come on.
It would be pretty funny though, because I think we'd
listen, he wouldn't have the balls spelled BAWLS. That's what we're gonna do from now on. Balls.
Well, Trix, I sent you a video with the balls.
Yes, I know. I'm gonna try to get that.
I was thinking of George on that.
Yeah. Oh, they're playing with the balls on it. We got to do.
Yeah, that one. That is funny.
There's some hot balls, as they say.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining
day.
us. God bless. Bye.
Okay.